Yes, indeed.
Actually, I'm gonna ask him if he has any bandages or something like that I can buy from him, or
Oh
where
yes,
I can
as
buy
a
that.
matter of fact, the servants will actually take care of that for you as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, and they'll
All putting on Dirk's tab.
Yes, all on Dirk's tab. He is most generous. He takes the little scroll that Leon had and like puts it under the counter. And yes, you folks are welcome to see, servants bring you your food and drink, and you pass your time relaxing within the local warmth. For Fargus, there is that hot bath and some bandaging, as a couple of I guess you would call them like nurses of sorts. Basically, like wrap up his numerous wounds, sort of like staring at each other in the process. Cause holy fuck, you got wrecked.
Yeah. Huge gash in the side of my chest, and yeah.
Yes. There's several others sitting on the main floor in their own groups. Tonight's big news seems to be a debate, perhaps yet another one, about whether the Emperor will actually fight in the arena, complete with all the hearsay you could imagine. I say there is no chance at all. The Emperor himself will be participating. It's all a conspiracy to drive up ship prices. You know, banter like that.
I will ignore this and have a warm bath.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's been a while since we had a nice warm bath.
Sleeping in the damn forest for so long.
I was
Spider goop. Blood.
Just saying. Leon, though, is pretty excited right now. He's looking at his coin pouch. He has more money in here than he's ever seen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna spend the entire day lying in bed.
And after the bath, basically he's gonna seek out sheep character type.
Commander!
See here. Hold on. I will have something for you folks. Let me just copy all these over and put them on the reserve map, where you folks don't need to see, and then if I delete all of these tokens that you might not see this session, BAM! Should be fewer assets to load now.
A good thing we all finished loading.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm still at 63. I think I'm the
61.
last one in the queue. Oh, fine. Cool. Awesome.
I didn't realize we got a new map until we were like at the tavern, so...
Yeah, so that should have sharply reduced the amount of things that you need to load. Yes.
I don't think it's discovered it yet, but...
Yes. Travelers had come and go throughout the night. But before you end up finishing your meals, and I suppose that if you wanted to handle any roleplay between each other, then you can certainly do so now. Before the next bit begins that will involve you five. Even Fargus.
Sure. I'll seek out the dear commander who said that he's done this before, and sort of inquire as to the base behind that. Has really defended a city from rampant druids before?
Well, not a city and not druids. It was a small town at best, located on a hill too, so that made things easier. And it was just bandits. So this is a whole other scale. A challenge, certainly. 2 weeks, not a lot of time.
Well, good to have you here then. I don't know how many competent guards the city has. Hunters, perhaps, would be hopefully plenty. And if they hunt in the wildwood, they might be able to actually do something as well.
Even an unexperienced fighter with the right motivation can pull his weight. It is a matter of getting everything organized, however, and that requires cooperation by whoever are the ones ruling here. They might not just believe us that we met some crazy wolf that talked to us, promising death and destruction for Foghaven if we don't solve a murder.
I don't know if telling her of the murder would even be necessary. It might just convolute things. She might want to cooperate with it.
If it weren't for that crazy ex, that would be the most ridiculous story of this week's
You have
travel.
no way of finding a murderer, though. We'll have to defend the city. It's the only way.
Shrugs.
Draw him out and kill him on the open field.
It would be preferable to just avoid the attack entirely, though.
I don't know. With bandits, you find their hideout and you root them out. or they will just keep coming at you.
Well, we can do the same thing here, perhaps, but it would be more difficult. If we, however, stop the attack from happening within the 2 weeks, we might not have to defend the town.
All I'm saying is there might be a better chance of killing him if the town is with us.
Your personal
He's
revenge
forever.
is very much playing into this strategy, is it not?
Says, perhaps, admittedly, but nonetheless, I think it's the best idea. There we go.
We'll have to wait and see what the leaders of this town say. If they don't cooperate, then, well, that limits our options, certainly.
So if they do not cooperate, you will leave?
If they do not cooperate, I will find another way to stop him. It is surprising how much this week did to my relationship to druids. Opposing civilization for its own sake just seems wrong.
Yes. They would rather have every city crumble and everyone living in them dead. Reclaimed by the forest of the land, fed to wild dogs and wolves. She said beasts.
Perhaps. Thomas will certainly agree with your Hurim's views on these things, although he is not entirely convinced that taking out the druid will fix everything, although it would certainly be an option. He'll
We'll
continue
show them
walking
that we
around
mean
town.
business, that they cannot expand the forest in this direction now. They will come again. They will keep coming forever. But at least giving these people a break would be good. You saw what it was moving up through the forest. It was also not always so. It's because of the strength of the druids now that it has become like this. The wards and defenses the Archmages put up are weak. The road almost eroded and gone.
Quit making copies of yourself, Dan. I already had you on this map.
The druids are invading.
Oh.
I did not see my token.
You are not an ooze. All right. Well, let's see here. Then, travelers come and go through the night, but before you all finish your meals, Fargus, of course, is in his room, like, sobbing quietly to himself. But, Tempus is gone. But while Leon, Hiram, yes, Dwohurim, fucking stupid ass name, and Thomas, that's right, God said it. Before you all finish your meals, a young boy, no more than 10, enters the building. His eyes nervously scan the room before they focus on your group, and he actually scurries towards you. And he looks at Leon and says, Are you the group that just came in from the Wildwood?
Leon blinks, turns to where he heard the voice. Nods. A little bit confused for a moment.
Senator Cabot requested that I bring that group to her house tonight. As soon as possible. She wanted to speak with them, with you. He looks shyly at you.
Senator
What
requests.
a great coincidence.
Well, Fargus, no rest for you.
Apparently not. Well, let's get this over with then.
Although, wasn't there...
Don't
He,
worry about it.
He shakes his head. And he'll actually begin, scurrying out of the tavern.
All right, yeah. Let's go to her in the evening.
All right.
Yeah.
I see no problem with this.
Right. The boy leads you towards Full Catch Bay. A cool breeze hits your faces as you walk, carrying the briny smell of the sea. It's quite a walk for your tired feet, particularly for Fargus, and it's harder to see as you leave behind the town lights. Eventually, you stop at the end of the road and then die. No. Yes, ambushed by druids. Ajax says, haha, here we are. A servant is waiting at the door of a large brick building. She hands the boy 2 coppers, and he shyly waves as he leaves you. The servant politely invites you inside and guides you through the house's opulence. I will show you that now, and it possibly contributed to having such a load time. Here's your front door area. I'll go ahead and focus you also that you're looking. You got your coat room over here. You got a dining room that you're currently in. The servant leads you through this absolutely gorgeous room which has a fountain inside, an interior fountain. You are supposed to be in the study. Get back where you belong. You're shattering my immersion. And the servant leads you then to the study. Sitting within that study is a woman of indeterminate age, her elbows propped up on the table and her hands on her temples. She looks up with confusion as the servant introduces you, and then with recognition as she sees the 4 of you. Senator Cabot, these are the travelers you requested. Marvelous, Viv. I'm sure you all must be tired. Why don't you sit out by the fountain? I'll be there momentarily. And for anyone who has relationship dice with the priestess, you may roll those dice now.
All right.
Excuse me, Master Dwarf. That's the senator's chair.
Crumble, crumble.
Thank you. Okay. Thomas, with his conflicted priestess recognition, or like relationship, Leon has got nothing this fucking session.
No, the gods do not smile upon me.
Will recognize I know Train. Seriously. Dark gets no fucking respect at all. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit, I know! Fucking bullshit!
Thank you, Train.
Yes. Thomas will recognize that name. Carmilla Cabot was once a champion of the priestess, a powerful cleric who traveled across the realm, performing her bidding and saving innocents and the downtrodden from the darkness and carrying them towards the light. She's had a great deal of experience in combat, but in recent years she's settled down and decided to, in this case, settle in Foghaven. She's a Holy One. Holy Ones only really emerged in this age. There were lots of rumors about them, about their existence, but once the Cathedral of the Priestess had been completed, almost all of them in the entire world basically flocked to Santa Cora, where they live. Holy Ones are seen as blessed by the gods, and they do have an ethereal radiance and quality to them, which, considering Thomas's conflicted relationship, might very well make him uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, the senator, who is dressed in quite some finery, as this is it's quite a house, will settle down in her chair and sit and then look over you and say, wasn't there... Dirk said you were traveling with a 5th.
The 5th is currently unable to attend.
Put him on the chair. It's made for him. I don't know if he can hear anything in there.
Looks to you.
Looks to and says, there was this minor problem. I honestly don't know what happened.
The senator looks confused.
Minor problem.
And then
the
stares
box on the
curiously at the box that's in the chair.
Yeah, that's him.
He hasn't responded to anything we've attempted to communicate with him since that happened, but consider him... don't consider him at all.
Consider him indisposed at the moment.
Yes,
Right.
well, anyway, she shakes with a perplexed look. The reason why I called you for here, 5, for whatever, the reason why I called you here was because I had heard that you just recently traveled the road from Santa Cora to reach here, meaning you went through the wild wood. Now, caravan communication has been difficult. We have had some bandit activity. How was the road?
Well, first of all,
Absolutely terrible.
Extremely hostile.
Speaking of communication, I do believe I have a letter for you, Senator.
The senator looks over towards Thomas, takes the letter, and then looks at Thomas and actually, like, narrows her eyes suspiciously. Ah, you.
I could say the same, I think.
She shrugs, looks at the letter, and I'll read that a bit later. So incredibly hostile. The highway has always been such. What news do you bring of it?
There are a variety of threats found upon the road. Going through, there were giant spiders and ethercaps on the road, which caused us...
Makes a disgusted face at the word ettercap.
Leon's justice is disgusted. There was also some dark elves, a variety of bandits of all kinds. Somehow, a variety of wagons that seemed to have been completely slaughtered, and huge trees used to barricade all attempts for their escape. Looks over to the dwarf if he wants to do the last one.
It indeed seems like the whole forest has risen up to try to swallow the road. And as we were to enter the city, indeed, something else, a fell being, attacked us. It was a druid named Ajax,
a false druid,
in the guise of a wolf. Sort of looks over to Fargus, seemed to say something.
Yeah, a false druid.
Yeah.
He was not...
He has claimed the authority of the forest and the druids, and is using it to terrorize everything and everyone who dares travel his road. It's a beast and a menace.
There's also the matter of the bandits' leader, whispering something.
Ah, yes.
The Ravinger. The Whispering Ravinger.
Yes, that was his name.
As to this Ajax, I have heard his name. He is certainly no false druid, nor have I known him, at least through what I know, to be any of the sort that you, and she looks over at the dwarf, describe. At least not without cause.
Well, it seems that a druidess had died somewhere in the forest, and now he demands that this city be responsible for her death and find out and bring him, the murderer, for execution, or he will, well, make the city pay for it.
He also attacked us, just for traveling here.
Though, I think that may have been partially provoking from... looks over to the dwarf.
Her brows lift. Him attacking, if I understood. If he personally fought you, then you are great indeed to have survived. She eyes
Not
you
personally.
a little dubiously.
He sent a dire wolf and a pack of smaller wolves to try to destroy us, thinking us not worthy of carrying his words if we could not survive.
Well, this is just another problem then.
It seemed to me at the time, and still, that it is nigh impossible to solve a murder where you have no crime scene, no culprit, and no information at all, really. So, in 2 weeks, he will likely attack the city in some manner. Either personally or via other means. He could destroy the fields, make the animals rapid and aggressive, dry out the food, starve the city out. I don't know how. But their methods are known far and wide.
She begins tapping fingers against her thigh. Now that is a trouble. But it's not the most immediate concern. I know. I have some limitations here. in my position as lead senator of Foghaven, but those limitations do not extend to a band of travelers seeking to perform actions. There are a host of problems here, one of which I would be willing to pay if they were solved. Obviously, I know you cannot solve them all, at least I don't think you can, but perhaps give consideration to those which might be best suited for you, and help put this city on the track towards survival.
Much as I would be glad to, as long as it is possible. If the city is not willing to fight this druid, I don't see much chance.
Well, the bandit problem is prevalent. It is rumored, but I have not gotten a confirmation, that these bandits operate with druidic equipment as well as magic. They have been assaulting caravans leading to Santa Cora from here and to Newport, and the military is... Our guards are stretched rather thin. We can't possibly oversee everything. Looking into a solution behind why that's happening and bringing an end to it would be a great service to the people and to trade coming through here. There's also, and she looks a bit off to the left, there's also troubling reports coming from a town 2 days southeast of here called Meadowdell. We've not heard any word from it. A few weeks we haven't, at least from what I've been told, and any people we've sent to look into the matter have not returned bringing us information. Meadowdell is a farming community, a village which operates out and helps to support this town, and I would rather know whether that's caused by the bandits, by something from the wild wood, or from something else. There was also a personal request I received from House Melkor. It seems that there is some trouble in their family mausoleum, and they are discreetly requesting assistance into that. I have not been able to spare anything for such a personal matter. However, I figure that the house requesting aid for their mausoleum could not be anything good.
The bandits working with Ajax does indeed seem to be a real possibility. Although him grasping such means must mean that he's really serious about this. Perhaps even thinking of expanding the forest, claiming new land that can be overgrown, and finding corpses to feed the soil.
It would be interesting if you were choosing such a tactic. The Archmage's wards are still strong here. Those would have to be broken, dismantled in some fashion, in order for the Wildwood to truly make progress in this direction.
He has already been hard at work on the road. After all, he must have followed us for quite a while to find us so easily at the time of his choosing. Perhaps he even has allowed the Ettercaps to live on the road, simply to attack travelers. I cannot imagine he could not destroy them himself.
Well, the Wildwood is certainly a vast, expansive place, and not even the High Druid could oversee everything. Truth be told, I imagine the Ettercaps, well, I wouldn't know, but they could also just have a fane near that locale. A dark temple where they conduct their secrets and collect them for their goddess, as they have been cast out from influencing Santa Cora.
Not for a lack of trying.
But that's all just the words of a senator who has been here for some time. I have little eyes or ears in the community at large, and my hands are tied with political work here, trying to balance the affairs of Foghaven. If you could also, in your time, perhaps either solve this murder, or... She trails off uncertain. That would certainly be a thing as well. But yes, for completion of any of those tasks, or multiple tasks, I would certainly reward you well for your time and service. Not to mention that you would be doing a great thing, not just for Foghaven, but for the Empire itself. You do not have to decide now. You may return in the morning with your decision. I hear that you are staying at the Rampant Badger.
That is correct.
You may come see me then, whenever you, in the morning, should you make up your mind. Or if you do not wish to assist us in any fashion.
I would assume that we will assist you as best we can.
Good, she smiles.
In the meantime, I would recommend looking over the city's defenses, if there are any.
She gives like a look over to Fargus that says, "We are totally fucked if someone attacks." I don't know exactly how the "we are totally fucked if someone attacks" look, but that's what she's giving you.
A slight smile and a raised eyebrow while slightly shaking the head.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, Thomas has been somewhat distracted this entire conversation, just staring at the senator, trying to disguise it, but failing horribly. But at the mention of defenses, he will half whisper, "You should really invest in some walls. They help."
It's not my ruling to determine what the city of Foghaven invests in. I can only make suggestions.
Well, perhaps soon people will have a very good motivation to.
Yeah. At least some barricades would be good to have.
Maybe. I'll see what I can do. But for now, it is getting late, and it would be unseemly if you were to stay here any longer. There are eyes that are kept on even me, and the other senators do talk. If you have anything else to show me, then you may bring it with you in the morning whenever you come up with a decision. And if there is nothing else, then you are politely shown out by the servant, and basically are free to return to the tavern.
Back to bed.
It's at this point that today's session will end, giving you folks a week to come up with a decision on what you would like to do, and if there's anything else you would wish to discuss with the senator. I would appreciate a decision as soon as you folks are comfortable making it. I would, preferably something like Sunday, so that I can at least have some time to know, where you folks want to go next. I've given you some ideas, and if you want to branch off on a completely different path, that's acceptable too. Now,
Yep.
I will also be saying you will be receiving a full heal up. There is no more combat. In addition, I would like to welcome you all to level 2.
Woo! Gotta get a fire spell so I can make fire rituals somehow.
13th age designers encourage that the game master get a reward level 2 quickly rather than earlier, and you certainly will not be leveling up to any of the other levels this quickly. However, you folks are basically starting at level 1. You already had some experience in level 1, heading into the start of this campaign world, and through the trials that you forged together on the Wildwood have improved in some form or fashion. And to that effect, at the start of next session, I would like each of you to give the entire table description of how your characters have improved. So yes, level 2 for everyone. I'll just have to tell Gryph later.
In my case, fire safety probably is not a way I've improved.
Yeah. So the three options we really have are, well, I guess we have more, but there's mausoleum work, which is likely undead related.
Yeah, we have mausoleum,
Yes.
we have Meadowdale, and then we have the bandits.
What was Meadowdale?
It was a nearby town that's gone silent.
Yes.
No scouts
It's like
returned.
It's like a small town southeast of 2 days southeast of Foghaven, so it's also right on the border of the Wild Wood. That's gone completely silent. It's a little farming community. They haven't heard anything.
You know, I think we should go there.
So it's more east
I
than
can relate.
southeast, but it's pretty damn close.
I can relate.
But
Sounds
correct me if I'm wrong, but nothing of these three has to do with any of the drow, right?
No.
And
Perhaps not.
the arrow we found in that druidess was
So it was an arrow with cherry red hin feathers, which you did not see any of the drow or the bandits using.
Okay.
That's a very specific designation coloring. Like in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't blend in at fucking all.
Might be able
Somebody
to find
wanted.
some,
Somebody
blacksmith
shot
selling
that
stuff.
person with a special arrow.
Might check with the local blacksmith or something about that, but Fargus would like to investigate this mausoleum first, because it seems that it might be taken care of rather quickly.
See, the thing about that is, though, that it doesn't really, can't they just close it? And, they can be oh no, undead are in the mausoleum, but that's not really gonna have, grand ramifications compared to, oh no, a whole city died down there.
Well,
Which, if we discover that might rally these people to actually want to do something about this whole situation.